Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Second video of the day with a maxi update about Juve, but also calcio mercato, because mercato never sleeps, mercato is totally crazy. So we start, first of all, to tell you, was Douglas Luiz back? You know, if you watched the video of this morning, that we were a bit hesitant when he would be back, because we knew that he would have been this week, but was it Monday, was it Tuesday? We didn't know. Today he was there, he trained already with the team, so he will tell me, Beppe, there is no punishment, as you told us. Yes, there is, but I want to keep it internally. So the case is at the moment totally closed. He will be fined, probably financially. We don't know what is the percentage of the salary that will be kept and hold at Juve. We have no idea about that. Does that mean that Douglas Luiz from now on will have another chance and that we will see him as a starter against Reggiana, against Dortmund? No, because Juventus will not change their mind. Douglas Luiz will not change his mind. So the roads will be split between the Brazilian and between Juventus. We can say that it's over, but instead of letting him there in another team, in field 2, he's training with a team which is in a way better, so that he can have total form, so that when a club is asking and when they are doing the medical, well, he will not fail them. And that's the Douglas Luiz case. At the moment, we don't speak about it anymore because we have other things to speak about, like, for example, you, if you want to, enjoying that beautiful panorama, that beautiful background. To put a maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are that close to reach 39,000 Juventini of the world. It depends on you. Do it. I would love to go back in Belgium with at least 39,000 Juventini of the world. Up to you, because now we continue with the other news. On Wednesday, there will be the press conference of Jonathan David. He will be presented. I think, but I'm not sure, that Comolli will be next to him to actually introduce his first real signing, and then, of course, leaving the stage to the Canadian player, Jonathan David, to Juventus presented. Will he show his number? I don't know. I don't know. That could be the big thing. Imagine Jonathan David with a shirt of Juve at the end, turning it, and you see a number 9. People will go totally crazy. I'm curious. Let me know the question that you would ask to Jonathan David. Let me know in the comment section, because we go towards the third topic. For people that were still hoping for Xhaka, Xhaka will go to Sunderland. It's nearly a here we go, because you're already traveling there. It's not for 12 million like we were hearing when he was linked to Juve, not to 14, not to 15 million, but we were speaking really about 20 million euro contract until 2027 for the player from Switzerland. So it's over for Juve. Guys, Sunderland, they are able to put, boom, cash on the table for a player for 2 years. 20 million euro, which at the moment Juventus, can they do it? Yes, they can in terms of cash flow, but we still need to pay extremely attention. When I will be back in Belgium, maybe we can go through the financial parameters that we already spoke about, but the UEFA is monitoring Juve, and they say, oh, pay attention, Juve. So that's why Juventus is also, not only, but also in a difficult situation financially. Igor Paixão, you will tell me, Beppe, who is that guy? Well, he goes to l'Olympique de Marseille. He's traveling, full agreement there. Can it possibly be a problem for Timothy Weah? Could potentially be. Could potentially be, because this morning, as I told you, we went over the words of the agent that spoke about Tim Weah. He said that, yes, it's OM, OM, OM. If Juve is expecting offers from Premier League, they will not be accepted by the player in the entourage. Was speaking about one of the managers of Juve that was not behaving correctly. Look, from what I know, also some messages that I wrote, etc., etc. Looks like Comolli, he decided to turn the page with the past, showing a bit more strength, changing the tone a bit of negotiation in how you behave, how you approach yourself in negotiation with other clubs, but also a message sending to the players. Now people could possibly be angry, frustrated. People could say, what are we doing? Why are we not able to sell? It was a player that could leave, and we could accelerate on maybe a Sancho if you wanted him, or maybe looking otherwise. Remember the video that I made with that rant? We're saying, oh, it's time to send a message. Looks like Comolli is doing that. And of course, when you are sending a message like that and you have a first player, and let me be honest, Timothy Weah probably doesn't deserve to be the first player of that change of management, because he's a top guy. I can promise you it's a top guy in terms of purse, etc. But it's the first one in that changed of way of behaving, with Juve being a bit more harsh. So do I agree with Juve? Yes. Am I a bit sad for Timothy Weah? Yes, because it's a person that I really like. But it's like that, guys. I don't know if you agree with me, yes or no. Now, l'Olympique de Marseille accelerate on Pagsha, that is a left winger. Let's see if they still want Timothy Weah and if they want to increase or not. What is the risk there? That l'Olympique is tracking back from Weah and the offer is not valid anymore. That the Premier League offers will not be taken into consideration in first instance by the management, which at the end, the clubs from Premier League, they will go for other players, and at the end, the player could possibly stay at Juve, in a Juve that is not planning to continue with Weah because he was on the market, so you punish yourself in a way because you don't have an entry. But in the end, I told you, at the risk, go back to the video that I made a few days ago, at the risk of making some tough decision and suffering a bit that first year of management of Comolli, there are some risks that you need to take. So in a way, I back that one up. Di Marzio spoke about Colo Muani again. He confirms once again, because he did it already the first time on the 18th of July, so now we are 10 days later. He confirms in repeating what he said basically. Juventus keeps contact with Paris Saint-Germain for Colo Muani. If 5 days ago I was not that convinced, and speaking also with some people, they told me the chances for him to come to Juve, to come back to Juve, are quite low, because Paris Saint-Germain was really harsh on the decision. Looks like PSG starting to be a bit more flexible, and seeing the French player back to Juve, an obligation to buy maybe on a loan, or even an option with extremely easy conditions to actually become an obligation. So the chances are increasing as we speak. And then Leoni, because we didn't speak about it on YouTube, I made a short, so pay attention to the short tabs. But Leoni is a player that is still monitored by the big Italian teams. Milan, Inter, Juve. Milan would love to have the player, but it's quite difficult for them. It's actually the team that would need him the most immediately, Milan, but it's too expensive. While Inter, they could potentially go for the player, leaving him on loan to Parma, because they have their defense there with Bastoni, with De Vrij, Acerbi. It's a defense that is working for them, while Juve is still, they need a player, yes. On the other side, they could also potentially take him and leaving. But the player, pay attention to the will of the player. The player asks specifically to the club, or to the club, to his agent, to the entourage, that he can be in a club that gives him continuity, that can guarantee him continuity, because he wants to be part of the World Cup 2026. Makes totally sense. Huh? He's 18. He knows that he's totally on fire. He's a trendy name at the moment. But he also knows that 2026 is approaching, and if you're looking at the defense of Italy, he could possibly be in the 23, 25 players, I don't know how many, that can go to the World Cup if, of course, Italy qualifies. So one more year to develop himself, to play with continuity instead of taking the big risk, makes sense. Staying at Parma one more year, or going to a big club and going on loan to a step up from Parma to, I don't know, maybe a Bologna. Bologna, Genoa, I don't know, but these are the requests of the players. So seeing him at Juve, Inter, or Milan immediately this year, no. Are we able at the moment to put 30, 32 million euro, even if we pay indifferent with bonuses, to leave the player out of the team for a year? I'm not sure about that. So the Leoni voices are right, are true, but I don't think that it's feasible. Let me know what you think about Leoni, about Colo Muani, about the Weah situation, Comolli situation, about the Jonathan David that will be presented, what question you will ask. So we have a lot of things to speak about. Let me know. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.